Welcome back to Mcoc AlBundyRules. I got another unpopular opinion. It's got volume 5 for you here. Some people ask me, any buyer's remorse? So I was thinking, if I had 6 5-star rank downs, one for each class, who would I use them on? Who do I have buyer's remorse on? Who would I just not use anymore? Who would I rank up in their place? All right, something to think about, and here we go. Starting off with science over here. So science, this is a super easy choice for me. So I'm looking at my R5s on the 5 stars. I'm also going to look at why I would rank them down. I'm not saying any of these champs are bad. I'm not saying they're not great. I'm not saying they don't deserve rank ups. Not at all. I'm saying they never really lived up to the need that I wanted from them when I ranked them up, and or they no longer do based on new champs I've ranked up, new meta, whatever it is. So for me, when I'm looking at this and I look at my different R5s, want to get the most bang for my buck here, it's a really easy choice. There's one champ that just sticks out at me that I just don't use ever. He shines in a couple different areas, but I don't care about any of those areas, so I don't use it. So who I'm looking at right now is going to be this guy, or should I say this thing. Thing absolutely is who I would rank down. Easy. In fact, if I had a generic awakening gem, he'd probably be in the top 1 or 2 who I would rank down. I don't use him. Is he a great champ? Absolutely. Can he be amazing on offense? Sure, absolutely. Does he need an entire synergy team, including champs that just aren't that good, who I don't want to tag along for no reason, like champion and stuff? Yes, he does. He needs that to be great. Plus, you got to do the parent and the rock stacks and ramp him up every single time. Can he be awesome? Yes, he's not my style. I don't use him. I don't enjoy him. Is he good on AW defense too? Absolutely he is. Do I do AW? No, I really don't. As many of you know, I don't like AW. I'll never do a competitive AW or pushing AW alliance again. To me, that's like an automatic buy alliance if they start changing the modern alliance. I always make it clear in alliance before I join. I'm not really into AW. Need casual. I got burnt out on the long ago. I don't really feel like it's worth it. He can be great for AW defense, I'm sure, even though most know how to fight him these days. But even so, even if he is still decent in AW defense, I don't care. I don't really do defense. Maybe I'll do a few optional ones once in a while, but nothing more than that. So I don't need AW defenders from someone who doesn't really do AW. And his attack style, his whole move and everything, it's just not my style. I thought it was a good rank up at the time, and I just never really used him that much. It just never really did. So who, and I sure as heck don't use them anymore. So who would I rank up in his choice? It's kind of a tough one here. I kind of look through these different ones, and I'm looking on through there. Some of you might have thought I would have ranked down Quake, and I like her occasionally, so I would not have ranked her down. But who I would rank up, it's really between a couple champs here. It's most likely it would either be Luke Cage or She-Hulk. And I'm going off of the mentality that if I was to be able to rank down a 5-star, I would need to reuse those resources on a 5-star just for the sake of keeping it fair, because of course moving down 5 stars for 6 stars is a no-brainer. So I want to say, which 5 stars would I rather have R5s than my current ones? And I would rather have either Luke Cage or She-Hulk, maybe a couple others on here too, as an R5 over Thing, because I could use either of them. I like their play styles. I have fun with them. I use them here and there. If it wasn't so hard to get ISO and stuff, I'd probably already have them ranked up to R5, but that's where I'm looking. Now onto skill. This one is a bit of a tougher choice than the science one. Like I said, on science, it was like a no-brainer. I would love to rank down that thing, all right? Showed a couple ones I like to have instead, but probably a lot more there. Here, got to think a little bit more. Looking at who I have as an R5 5-star on my skill, most of them I will use here and there, but there's one R5 I have I just don't use anymore. I never thought I would say I would want to rank him down even as much, heck, even several months ago, I never thought I'd want to rank him down. I just don't use him anymore. And that is Blade. I just don't use Blade anymore at all on anything. I think there was like an EQ, a Cavalier a while back, where like Bleed got a benefit or something for a month or two, and I think I used him a few times through there, but I have plenty of skilled Bleed champs I'd rather use more, so wasn't even using him for that anymore. He shined and was like the holy grail of champs. This was the end all be all, the save for Blade, want Blade, Blade this, Blade that, Blade cheats the game, Blade OP, blah blah blah. Constantly, everything was about Blade not too long ago, a couple years ago. Game changed. And plus, he needs a synergy team to really shine. Can you use him without synergy? Yeah, of course. But is he a lot better with Ghost Rider and Stark and Ham Spider-Man? Absolutely he is. Am I going to bring those two along in the game today, how it stands, just for synergy? No, I'm not. Not in late game content, especially. Back in the days, no problem. Earlier content, sure, not a problem. I'll bring Starkey and Ghost Rider for that. Am I bringing them in Act 7 or Abyss for synergy, anything like that? There is no way. Especially in in-game content, I just don't really see need for Blade. There's really not much, if anything, he can do that I don't have somebody who can do it a little bit better already ranked up and who I enjoy playing a little bit more. Blade's playstyle is pretty cool champ overall. And I don't mind champs that are better with synergy because that's definitely a direction the game is headed. I have no issue. But if I have to bring two champs along just to make him pretty good for different content I'm on right now, and champs who I probably won't even use in the content, then that's a little too much for me. A champ? One champ or so for synergy? Absolutely no issue whatsoever on that. So that's my big issues on Blade right there. And who would I use on the skill side to use those resources? If I was to get back the skill resources, I had to reuse it on a 5-star skill champ. Who would I use it on? Really, it's going to be between Crossbones and Black Panther. Really hard for me to say exactly which of the two. They both had really cool buffs recently. I both like them a lot. I both love to R5 either one of them. Some similar things between them, some different things between them. I have tutorials after buff for both of them too, if you're not too familiar, but I believe they're worth an R5, and would I really love to have either one of them as an R5 over Blade? Absolutely, no doubt about it. I would prefer that if I could. So that would be, of course, in this hypothetical best world scenario. There's a few others on the skill I kind of be interested in, but I really did enjoy the Crossbones and Black Panther buffs and would absolutely see myself using them in later content, especially as an R5. Now, let's look at the mutant champs. This is one that's actually a pretty easy choice. Those of you who are familiar with my channel, seen other videos on this, probably know right away who I'm going to say on the rank down. And in this case, those of you thinking that are probably right. This is actually a very easy choice for me, and not just because I have this champ as a 6-star or 2 already, because I don't use them as the 5 or the 6-star, but it's Domino. I would rank down both the 5 and the 6-star if I could. Is she a great champ? Absolutely. Was she one of my favorite champs in the game at one point? Absolutely. However, I don't use her anymore, almost never, and when I do, it's for very little because I just don't enjoy using her. Again, another champ that needs a whole synergy team to really be good. We notice kind of a trend. I don't mind bringing one person on for synergy, especially if the champ's good, but to bring several, I'm not a big fan of, and I don't like bringing Red Hulk around and Massacre around just to let Domino get some incinerate from a heavy, especially when she's so unpredictable. Bringing two champs around, I'm probably not going to use in the quest that much. For a champ who I don't even know what I'm going to get. I mean, with Domino, you might do a fight. They might beat a champ. She might beat a champ in 5 hits one time. Next time, it might take 25 hits for the same champ. You just don't know what you're going to get with her. So why am I going to put down 3 champs to do a quest in late game content when I don't know what I'm going to get from her? I'm also not a fan of her animations and movements. They just kind of throw me off. They just seem kind of clunky at certain times, different parts of her movements and the way she operates. Just not a big fan. Is she a great champ? Of course she is. Is she worth the rank up? Of course she is. Is she a right champ or a right R5 for me? No, she's not. She's not. I don't use her. I don't feel the need for her to be an R5, so why do I want people as R5s that I don't use anymore? Can you say she could be good on defense? Sure, yeah, sure. Again, I'm not an AW kind of guy. I don't like AW. I don't care about having rank up champs for AW because I don't do competitive AW. I do optional occasionally if I feel like it AW, and that's all I plan on seeing myself doing on that. So Domino, an easy rank down. And like I said, I would rank down my 6-star of her 2 in a heartbeat if I could. But what about... who would I rank up in her place? So many good mutants. But the number one who I would R5 first is going to be Omega Red. I run Suicides, and yes, I got an Awakening Gem, and yes, I got plenty of Sig I can pump into him, so I can get him maxed out, Sig, Awoke, R5 with Suicides in a heartbeat. Who else would I like to R5 would be Colossus. I like how they go together. I never R5 Colossus before because I don't really like him without Omega Red. He's still good without him, but I have no duo. Having these these two as a duo, they help each other shine, do well together. I would love to have them as a duo, a little dynamic Russian duo for R5s on there. Now that I finally pulled a Omega Red not too long ago, someone who eluded me for so long. So definitely Omega Red and Colossus. So let's look at Cosmics now. Who would I rank down if I could rank down an R5 5-star Cosmic? This is one that was a pretty tough one. And in full transparency, I can't 100% say I would rank any of them down if I had the choice, but I think I would, because there's one I just don't use, and I know this champ is so good. I know they're amazing. Every time I use this champ, I see they do really good, but I just don't like using this champ for some reason. I don't even fully know. Maybe it's the ramp up, maybe it's some synergy, maybe it's a few different things. But out of all my Cosmic R5s, and even a lot of my R4s, the only one who I really don't use is my Captain Marvel movie. So that is who would be my choice for my rank down, is my Captain Marvel movie, because she's just not someone I really enjoy using. She is absolutely amazing. She always does a great job for me when I use her. There's no doubt. I got a tutorial on her show about using her. I loved her for quite a while. I got bored with her. I found her repetitive. I don't like using her without Nick Fury. Can you use her without Nick Fury? Sure. And Nick Fury is a great champ too. So I have no problem using the duo together at all. But that is one thing I look at to where bringing Fury along each time with that. And I feel like she does a lot. She does amazing stuff, but always having to start off with the parries and trying to keep up the binary with the heavies. The playstyle kind of bores me, and most of what she does, I have other champs who can do it just as good or better and who I enjoy more. Kind of also similar to Domino, some of her animations and movements kind of throws me off sometimes. Just really don't like her feel that much. And again, amazing champ. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with this and say I'm crazy, but keep in mind, we all have different preferences. We all play the game a little bit different. A lot of us are on different game content. Is she still relevant in end game content unlike some of these other ones I'm talking about I would rank down? Yeah, she's absolutely relevant. But does that mean I like her? Do I always want to have my maxed out champs as the best champs? Another reason I don't always agree with tier lists, because we have different preferences, and if you always try to rank up who's best, you might not get someone who fits really your style, your likes, or where you're at. So who would I use those resources on for the Cosmic R5? This one I look at a couple. Carnage is one I'd look at. I mean, I know people would think I'm crazy there, trade a CMM R5 for Carnage, but I like him a lot. But who I would do that before though would be for sure Venom. I would absolutely use those R5 resources from CMM onto Venom, and I would rather have Venom R5. Only reason my Venom already is an R5, he eluded me for quite a while. I didn't pull him until several months ago, and then by then I had so much other stuff trying to get ISO and rank up resources and all that. Decided not to rank him up until I duped him recently. I duped him very recently, was happy with the dupe, really enjoy him, and now that I got him awoke and dupe, really enjoy him, I would absolutely love to R5 him. One thing I actually like about him at this stage of endgame, I like him when champs are really strong on a specific niche, when they really shine, and that's why I like him. Some people disagree with that, but that might be earlier in the game or less diverse rosters. When you have a diverse deep roster, I love those niche champs, because when you see a certain trend, a certain thing, you can bring them in and they will just absolutely shine, and I can switch my roster for each quest to benefit those niche. So I actually prefer those niche champs at these kind of stage that really shine in one specific thing, and he shines very specifically in Spider-Verse. I have other champs who can handle those fights pretty well, but Venom just does it extremely well. And I would absolutely happily have him there for that. I'd rather him be the best at one specific thing than extremely good at a lot of things, such as like the CMM, for example. So with that, looking at tech next. What would tech? This is a very easy choice for me. I know some of you who watch my channel are going to think automatically Ghost. And that would be a great guess for many of you who watch my channel, but it's actually not going to be Ghost, because I don't like using her. I've made that very clear in the past, but I still do use her. When I need her, I love having her. Kind of similar to Quake with me on the science. Don't like using her. However, sometimes I need her, and I'm glad I got her. She's my kind of get out of jail free card type of stuff. So I do enjoy having her, and I do have an R2 6-star Ghost I don't really use. I actually use my R5 5-star more than my 6-star Ghost, because of the fact this one is awoke and a decent sig, unlike my 6-star is not awoke. So I would not rank down my ghost, it would actually be Spider-Man Starkey. And this is another one I loved. Oh, I loved the trio Trinity, one of the original OP Trinities in the game with him and Blade. And we noticed two of those are on my list right now, what champs I would rank down. Loved Starkey for a long time. And the big thing on him, though, is I just don't enjoy playing him anymore. I don't enjoy having to dex over and over and over at the beginning of every single fight. Longer fights, I don't enjoy having to do all those decks and do some attacks and keep doing a bunch of decks to get my charges back up and back and forth. His attack was amazing when he first came out. He was the champ I did my first run of LOLing back years ago when that was still hard or an accomplishment. Well, it's still an accomplishment. It's just there's a lot more counters now than there used to be, especially if you got Aegon. But so I'll always remember him for that. But his damage, which was so considered so great then, it takes a lot of work and upkeep. And there's a lot of champs in today's game with these new champs and buffs that do that same, if not more damage, much, much easier. Plus, a lot of these new champs that do that kind of damage also have way more utility. Stark in hand, Starkey's utility isn't very much to it. And it's not really worth the glass cannon aspect either. So can be good. He got me through a lot of content early in the game when he was new years ago and all that good stuff. I don't use him anymore. I have no use for him these days. I would rank him down in a heartbeat. One of the first ones I would rank down, probably right behind Thing as far as how quick I would rank them down. Again, can be a great champ, can get you through a lot of stuff, but based on some of those things, that's not someone I use anymore. So looking at who I would use those resources on instead, it would really be between two. One, Ultron is one who I would really look at. As far as ranking up, big thing here is, though, I'd have to do the R4 first and then the R5. But a main reason I probably would not choose him right away, I don't have him awoke. And he doesn't necessarily need awoke, but it does make a difference. And if he was awoke, I would probably pick him. I would use those resources on in the hypothetical situation. How Are the Ducks? Another one I'm looking at, but I got him as a 6-star too, so probably wouldn't. But actually, Punisher 2099 I would rank up instead. So if I could swap Punisher 2099 as R5 from Starkey, I would absolutely. Mainly because of all the utility. People talked pretty bad about Punisher 2099 after his buff for some odd reason to me. Maybe because he wasn't doing these 4 million damage specials people think they have to do to be good. His utility is amazing. He's easy to use, user-friendly, easy to get going. I really enjoy him. I would absolutely use him in late game content, especially as an R5, and I got a nice tutorial on him. And then we have Mystic. Mystic is another one as we're winding down the 6 of the 6 hypothetical rank down situations. This is another one that is fairly easy for me. This is someone who could shine in a few different areas, but all these Mystics I use on occasion. All my R5s except for one. There's one I just don't use ever anymore. Some of you might think Magic because it's pretty well known. I'm a big Psylocke fan. I kind of compare them sometimes. But sometimes I prefer Magic in certain nodes, especially on Mystic heavy nodes on EQ. There's a lot of niche. You need a power control Mystic sometimes. So I do like her for that. But so really the one who I'm looking at who I just don't really use, I do like Symbiote Supreme. His niche, I love it. He could be very good in a lot of fights, those buff heavy fights, things like that. Dragon Man's fun to use. Doom, I'll use. Oh, of course, people love Doom. Even with Suicides, I use them occasionally. But the one who I just don't use anymore, it's Mojo. Mojo for sure is the one who I would rank down, a very easy choice. Loved him at first, was one of my favorite champs to use for a while. His playstyle is pretty cool, kind of quirky, little this and that. He's kind of like playing him as kind of like the game's mini game within the game almost. Trying to do all the little stuff in there. Really enjoyed him quite a bit. However, I got bored with him. Playing him too much, doing those little things, it got kind of repetitive. It got kind of old. It got kind of annoying, his play style. And there's really not much of anything on offense he can do that I don't have other champs who can do just as good, if not much, much better in many, many cases. Another reason where he shines is AW defense. If I was into AW and Alliance War and did all that and competitive and push, oh, believe me, I'd be happy with him as an R5. As I've said many times before, and I'll say many more times, is I don't like Alliance War. I don't find it worth the effort. I find it boring, repetitive. I find it as just a worst part of the game, in my opinion. It's been like that. Even with the upcoming rewards buff, that is not going to entice me to change my mind. I'll never do an alliance that focuses on AW or that pushes an AW. Anytime an alliance starts pushing towards it or makes AW a focus, that's an automatic buy. Hey, it's been fun, you all, but time to leave. I've lost several alliances in the past when they started to switch to alliance focus. I joined non-alliance focus alliance war focuses for a reason. So that's just what my preference is. If you like AW, cool, more power to you. We all like different preferences. We all like different things, right? And that's why this video is kind of cool. It's kind of showing you how I'm thinking and the end game and how things are going. So Mojo would be my rank down. For those reasons, who would I rank up in his place? So this one has some interesting choices along the way. Really, ideally, I would probably hold on to those resources if they were for a Mystic 5-star and wait and see about if the Guillotine gets her buff. I don't think I've heard the results if Ant-Man or her won, even though I'm sure it's Ant-Man. But I see, or Hood is due for another buff after his buff and then debuff of that buff. He's going to get another buff. So I want to see what happened there. If not, I'm also looking at Mcoc, super underrated. Did a nice tutorial on him. I actually really like him, but who I would put forward higher than that, though, who I would use those R5 resources on, though, for sure, most likely is going to be Sorcerer Supreme. I really enjoy Sorcerer Supreme. She does a lot of cool little stuff, has a lot of use, utility, can do some damage. Would love to have her as an R5. Again, if I could just swap out her as an R5 for Mojo, I would do that in a heartbeat, very, very quickly, as this is someone I could see myself using quite a bit. So that is wrapping up all 6 of my hypothetical situation rank downs, one for each class, and who I would rank down and why. Again, I'm saying they were all great champs. They're all worth rank ups. I'm not talking bad about them, and they're great for most of your all rosters for a variety of situations. As you progress in the game, sometimes I change my style. All those rank ups I liked at one point. Some of them didn't live up to what I thought they would be, or some of them I just change, or I got a better option, or I just got bored with, or I just found repetitive or something with them to where I just don't use them. Bottom line, the only thing I'm looking at right now, not necessarily the reason why I don't like them, but I'm explaining, is the thing I'm looking at is who do I not use? Is there an R5 5-star in each class I don't use? Absolutely there is. So if I had the opportunity to rank them down and use on somebody I believe I would use for where I am in the game, my play style, what I like to do, of course I would do that. And in this case, all 6 classes I found somebody like that. Am I saying that they're not worth the rank up? Absolutely not. So don't get all angry, all upset with me if that's what you're thinking I'm saying. If you love your R5, so and so of these different champs, I said, cool, I loved them too for a while, and you might still continue to love them. We're all a little different, right? We all prioritize things a little different. So that's what I'm thinking. So I'm hoping you enjoyed this video, my Unpopular Opinions, Volume 5. Be sure to check out my first 4 volumes of my Unpopular Opinions. See if you agree, disagree. Let me know what you think on this too. Who would you rank down if you could? Don't forget to check out my tutorials, my walkthroughs, variants, book 2, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching and subscribe to MCOC AlBundyRules.